Do you wake up each morning brimming with excitement, overjoyed to begin a new day? Does your work satisfy and fulfill you? Are your relationships healthy and supportive? Does your lifestyle support your dream version of you? And finally, are you happy? Join Maya Voce, mystic warrior and energy goddess, as she takes you on a journey through the amazing world of energy. Harness the infinite powers of the universe and allow your real light to shine through. Anything can be yours. You only just have to believe.
And hello, this is Maya Voce, your host and guide to the Power of Five here on OMTimes Radio. And hello, everyone. I'm coming to you live from Volcano. Yes, it is a place, a thing, and a town on the big island of Hawaii. And it's a lovely day, but there's like a windstorm outside. So I was so thinking I get to sit in the sun and speak to you from the sun. No, I'm inside today. But the sun is shining and the birds are singing. And before we begin this hour today together, and thank you so much for joining me. Always so grateful with a full heart for sharing this space with you. And of course, we're going to talk about energy because that's what we do here. And we have a beautiful guest who I believe will be joining us today. He's having a busy morning, but cross fingers that he'll be joining us. As we talk about today, on one level, the word is volunteering, but really the deeper meaning of what we're bringing in today in this space. You know, we've been talking about the unraveling of society, unraveling of things out there, and community is one also that has been unraveling and now is redefining. So that is the bigger essence of our message today is what can we do to be a part of this new community? What threads do we want to weave into it? But before we get to all of that, I just want to take a moment because it's just been intense, isn't it? I just moment to moment, day to day is just shifting energy. And it just seems to maybe lighten up a little bit and then boom, we're in this place again. So before we begin the journey of energy, I just want to acknowledge each and every one of you on the journey that you're on and sending aloha to you and blessings, pulling you into this space where I am, the beautiful healing energy that's here. We have so many cross paths of energy. Here I am literally on Volcano National Park. The entrance to the park is, it's about a 3-minute drive from here, and I will be going there after this to welcome the arrival of my new P.O. box. I have been waiting for 7 months. So now it's opened up. So we welcome the energy of course, transformation. That is the essence here, the home of Pele, this volcanic energy, which there is no flowing lava right now, but still, you know, within can feel this shift. And we have wind that's arriving today, this flurry of wind. Beautiful sun that's shining, water all around us, you know, a speck of land in the midst of this Pacific Ocean. So we have all of the elements so entwined here, and this energy just is so magnificently powerful and so healing. So I know that we can't venture here, so I am sharing that with you. So let's just take a moment, as I said, and just honor the journey that we're each and every one of us on. We have reached the middle of the year, believe it or not. I can't believe it. There has been so much change. And on a good day, right, we humans don't like change. I say it all the time. It's just something that, you know, we get into this space of routine. We get into this space of habit. That's our security. And we don't like when it shifts and change. And everything has shifted and changed this year. So much so that as we reach this point, you know, the end of July, next week is August, or this weekend rather is August already. It's just a really good habit to take a breath, take a break, go outside, and again, just honor where you are. I mean, I, for one, I'll be honest, I'm exhausted. I just, you know, so many shifts, school meeting yesterday, the third that I've been on, and school not starting here as was we had thought. So, of course, that changes plans. And speaking of plans, it is really difficult, if not out and out impossible. And I never use that word, but it is really, really challenging right now to plan anything, isn't it? Except for the day ahead, and pulling it into the energy. That really is part and parcel of this energy right now, is just sinking into trust. Oh, and I got my magic goosebumps right now. Maybe you felt them as well as we created that energy portal. This is really all about trust, and not thinking too far ahead. You know, we've been talking about things should be bubbling up within you, you know, that soul calling, because that's where we are right now. We're in this unraveling, you know, it's unraveled, society unraveled the life that we had just a scant 4 months ago, 6 months ago. You know, I think in my own life, 6 months ago, just arriving in Hawaii with a young child and some suitcases, going new life ahead, and having no clue, as none of us did, that this pandemic would come through and say, hello, everyone, this is what's happening this year. So we're all in this place of just change. And it can be overwhelming. You know, we've just been going on autopilot, I think, trying to grab the threads of that which was. And this whole month in this space that you have shared with me, we've been talking about letting go. And indeed, that theme comes up this morning like 10 times fold. It's just really, really, as we sink fully into trust, we need to let go of everything and anything that doesn't serve us. And again, you know, bring my personal story. I'm an Aries, like to have lots of balls in the air. That's how we feel good, us Aries, starting stuff. And I've had to do some really deep soul searching, as all of you, I hope, have. In the month of introspection that's passed in June, we had that 6 weeks of introspection. It was almost like a summer winter. We were thrust into our cave. And the purpose of that was to sink into that space within, sink into your heart space and really feel. This is so beyond a time of thinking and making lists and doing any of that stuff. This is really sinking deep, deep within that heart space and connecting there to that energy, and allowing to bubble up what needs to come up and not shoving it down, as us humans tend to do, because we let that mind get in the way and go, okay, mind, now you take over. Let's push down that feeling, that great feeling that we've had, that intuition is sending to us, you know, a guide to our life path. So now, after June has passed and we're sitting now firmly into this energy of the new. And I stress that. I was connecting today, as I do every morning, as the sun is coming up over the trees here in our garden. And firmly, we are in this new energy. Now, as I've said before, it might not look that way. If you look out your window, you know, things are still happening out there as they have been. That's not this new that I'm referring to. This is the new within. This is the universal energies that we are showered upon right now are granting us the energy, granting us the creativity that access our own portal into our heart space to see what it is we're meant to do. So there will be lots of shifts. There will be lots of letting go. And I encourage each and every one of you, really, the thing that you're hanging on for dear life, that this doesn't, you know, just because you have been, just bless it, send it with love, you know, cover it in pink sparkles, my favorite thing to do, and just let it go. Let it go. It served you. It's had its purpose. It's had its run. It's gone now. All right, because this really is the new. And you will see, and I would bet that you've been seeing already things coming into your life, connections with people, you know, so many fabulous online things popping up, convergences and connections. And I'm hoping that you've tapped into some of that as well. And if not, then again, look within. You know, what is the universe saying to you? What is your heart saying to you? What are you going to build for this new period? And because what you sow right now, your intentions, and what you do allow breath to come forward right now, that will just bloom and grow like the tallest weed. And I say weed because technically there are no weeds. Nature has its own place. But weeds, things that we call weeds, these beautiful plants that have prospered and learned how to grow quickly, they will grow. Sorry, my mind got on a tangent with weeds and dandelions and how people like to pick them. And I would go and on my garden that was not no pesticides whatsoever and harvest them. So anyway, getting off that track because then I'll get into my gardener hat, which I love to do. But things right now that you allow space to grow, allow space to see the sun, these things are going to grow quickly throughout the rest of the year. And the energy the rest of the year, once we reach the Lionsgate portal, which I will speak more on next week as we are firmly in August, such a beautiful energy. If you know nothing about it, Google it, come back next week. I'll share some thoughts on that. If we have time today, I'll share some thoughts at the end of the show. To prepare you for next week. It is technically it's a week period, but really the 8/8 is the Lionsgate portal, and I'll stop there because otherwise I'll get very excited about it because it is such a gorgeous, gorgeous influx of light, beautiful energy, very easy to connect with things out there in that space. And my goodness, so let's get to the energy today. Of course, we've been talking a bit, but let's get more specific. So we have this influx of Saturn right now. So again, Saturn, bit of a heavy energy, big planet. So you can imagine, big thing out there. It's affecting us, and it's all about your career choices, your soul path, your life path, determination. But really right now it's about coming into alignment with that which you feel is bubbling up. And again, allowing that space to bubble up. Don't push anything down. If your intuition is saying something, or you like me get little goosebumps and saying, I need to go there, or read that book today, or I don't know, call that friend that I haven't spoken to in years and years. Do it. Don't think. Just do it. I have met so many beautiful people just with Instagram posts popping up and going, something there, and calling them and finding out, like last weekend, beautiful lady lives down the road. And so we had a socially distant, lovely afternoon together, and it was a beautiful connection. So I strongly encourage all of you, just listen with your heart. Not those things on your head. Listen from your heart space and go where your heart is calling you right now, because that is going to allow you to create that foundation of your new and the new out there. So even though it feels very heavy and not sticky outside, it's just, it's just a lot. I'm just going to leave it like that. There's just a lot. So much going on, so much that has gone on a physical level. I think we're tired. On a physical level, we all want to just go on vacation or holiday for my Australian listeners. Goodness knows I would like to do that as well. I think we should all just go on a blast holiday, but it's not possible right now. So let's just get back to energy and thinking about our life path, because isn't that more fun? So anyway, and speaking of more fun, my little one today I think she's losing steam with fun facts for kids. We are fostering 4 beautiful little kittens. So if you're on the Big Island and in the area of Volcano and looking to welcome a new little life, a furry little life that is, into your home, give us a call because we have 4 little beautiful black kittens that were in our garage. We had created a little kitten haven, and now they have moved into the play area, we call it, of our spare room. And they're jumping all over my daughter, who is giggling, and they are meowing, and it's just a beautiful sound to hear. So our topic today is volunteering, and I'm not sure if we have a guest that's coming. He was a little bit busy this morning, but he and I have had many chats. So if he is not here with us, I will retell everything and share with you his thoughts. But as we are in this place of unraveling, community too has been a big push word that's out there. All these words circulating. You have to listen, like I said, to what's popping up. But community too has unraveled, has been unraveling, it seems to me, for decades, isn't it? We've come so far away from these community villages that used to support each other and hide away in little boxes, as the Aboriginal community says. So many circles I've sat in, and such candid wisdom. I really do miss that energy right now. What they would share is that you just don't understand. We have this whole beautiful planet and we're free to roam wherever we want. So why do we humans create these boxes and lock ourselves in them? That is their beautiful viewpoint of our homes. And indeed we do, don't we? And of course, now we really are locked in our homes and separated from people we love. I'm hearing all these stories on NPR about couples who haven't seen each other, international couples who got stuck traveling and haven't seen each other, all these love stories around the world of separation. But we are cordoned off in these little boxes right now. So how do we connect with community? Because we are community beings. As much as we like to think that we are isolationists, we are like doggies. We enjoy that pact. We enjoy our families and those that support us. So how do we connect? And as I said, there's lots of interesting things popping up online. But, I'm an Italian American and I really like to hug and I really like that touchiness, the field that I've been in a spiritual path and working with those who are transitioning off into going back into the light. That is a moment where you need touch. You need to connect with eyes. So it's been very challenging. So that too is unraveling. And now we are reweaving it. And one way that we can do this is really assess, our choices. And we're going to talk more about that and have been over the weeks. But really, who are you in the sense of community, in sense of the bigger picture? We are all here on this planet, right? This planet is all of our homes, last time I checked. I know there's talk of going to Mars, but I think we really need to bring focus here. A lot of things that we need to fix here. Are you with me? Love Mars, great, great energy. I am an Aries, so ruled by Mars, but I really think we need to look out the window and make a few changes here before we venture out. Oh, okay. We're done with that right now. So we're going to talk about volunteering and about the rebuilding of community. And I'm hoping Randy will join us. But if not, you've got me. So be back in a second.
Bringing a more conscious lifestyle to your world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free, ascendinghearts.com.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me the Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
A social distancing tip.
Putting distance between yourself and others is critical to slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
And hello again. This is Maya Voce, your host and guide to the power of 5 here on OMTimes Radio. And coming to you from, the wind has chilled a little bit right now. It's not so blustery here, but coming to you live from Volcano and the Big Island. And today we're talking about the unraveling also of community and the rebuilding of community, which is, I think, something we really need to focus on because we are not here in isolation. Even though right now, technically, technically we are in our own little houses, but that's not what I meant. I meant that we are each here as a citizen of this planet, of our home, planet Earth. And so, it would be a good thing to put a little thought to how we would like to create community. But before we get to that, I just wanted to share what I think is a little funny. My partner, Pete, I would always say to him that I was very funny, and he'd look at me with that look and go, yeah, you think so. Okay, so I think this is funny, and I'd like to share it with you because we don't have fun facts for kids. I just got the 11-year-old glare is in the break. I asked her again, do you not have anything to share? Because Nana's listening, and I got the glare. I think all parents know the glare, and I think it continues. It doesn't matter how old your child is. There's still the glare. I'm sure my mom, who's listening, she would say the same thing. So anyway, what I'd like to share is my little dog, Sylvester, who I do talk about. On my show in Sydney, I would start each day with stories from Sylvester and the most stubborn animal in the world, most stubborn dog. He likes to sit with me outside, and I like to be outside very much. It's generally sunny and beautiful, and just connect with energies because, as I share with you, I really do that on a daily basis and enjoy it. So he sits with me, but sometimes my eyes are closed and in meditation or sinking into that deep place. And I have to be honest, I'm not really paying attention to him so much. He goes off in the garden and sits in the sun. So yesterday it was bright and early, and I was sitting out in my very, very amazingly beautiful, fluffy purple robe, or dressing gown in Australia, using that language. And so here I am sitting there just fresh out of bed. It's probably 5:36 in the morning, and my purple robe and my pink fluffy slippers, which have seen maybe one too many winters already. It was quite a sight. And little Sylvester just comes tearing off, and he goes towards the road. Don't worry, it's not a busy road. It's just a little cul-de-sac. Animal lovers out there, not in danger anyway. Family walking by, doing their early morning walk with a huge dog. Sylvester, of course, ignoring every word I say for having him to come back. Sylvester, I'm screaming at him, please stop. I am running after him down the road with my very amazingly beautiful purple robe and pink fluffy slippers. And I must have looked a sight because the family was not angry in the least. They had a huge dog, and Sylvester's a little foxy terrier, so he's like 15 pounds, not even. But they were having a good chuckle at your host here, Maya, who just was, like I said, tearing down the road in this purple robe. And yes, I'm sure it was a sight. So we all had a good laugh, picked up the dog, maybe blushed a little bit, and came back in here. So just wanted to share that, and hopefully you got a chuckle as well, because as much as there's so much heaviness going on and shifting and change, it's nice sometimes to just think of the little innocent moments and things that make you smile. I talk often about kitten therapy and taking a cute little kitten that's purring and sticking it on your chest. There's something that happens in that moment of connection, and it's just a moment of simplicity and a moment of innocence. And it reminds us really why we're here, and those moments of sweetness. And I do believe we each and every one of us need to bring that into our life right now in whatever way that you feel that connection to innocence, because there just have been so many shifts. It's just change upon change and upon change. And when we try to, set that plan down and think about the future, which is what we do, we're here, we're planning people. We have to plan down the future, planning for this. It's very, very challenging to do that right now. But the plus side of that is it's really pulling us into the now, or at least I hope so. It should be, pulling you into this very moment. And if you can do anything during this time of craziness, this time of transition, time of transformation, really catching myself there with that phrase, really sink into the now and capture that, because that is where the magic happens. That is where the portal to transformation happens, where change can happen that you can utilize. There's change out there that's happening that we feel like we have no control over. I get that. It's just happening. But we can grasp our own moments in each moment in our life. Those of us who have children at home, honoring that time that we have with them that we would not have had. I have to say there are times that, just still waiting for school to start in some way, hoping it can. But I honor that journey with my daughter and these moments of sweetness with her, and really being present in each and every moment, each and every Monopoly game, each and every game of Frisbee, each and every game of make-believe. Play all of those things for my practice, being present for her. In our world here, she lost her father last year, and just skipping ahead a little bit, we will focus on, I'm devoting next week a show on grief and loss. Now, 1 hour is hardly enough for grief and loss, and it'll be something that I'm pulling in as the weeks go on, and we'll be inviting others to share their thoughts and lessons on grief and loss. If I can share anything about that journey, it's that we just don't do grief and loss and death well in this society. My opinion, but I know it's shared by many. And so what I'd like to do is be more vocal about it. Death is a natural part of life. It is a transition, and it should be included and honored. So I'm going to leave it at that right now, but I will be sharing just some highlights is the word that came to mind, but certainly not appropriate when we talk about the journey of grief. But just some lessons that I've pulled away from these past 18 months. that I chose next week because this Saturday is my partner's birthday, would have been his 53rd birthday, and it's a very challenging day for myself. Try to honor him in a way that we are able to at this time. So it's a balance. So I'd like to bring that energy into next week. We've been talking about letting go this whole month. So that is certainly part of the journey of letting go, is letting go of a loved one and everything that comes with it, because there is so much more than just letting go of the person. So that is next week. But today we were talking about and are talking about the unraveling of community. And it seems my beautiful guest, Randy, was not able to join us today. So let me just share some thoughts of our conversation from yesterday and for the past couple weeks. Randy is a beautiful individual I've met. He and his wife, who, like many people, have a home business and has shifted and changed. Business has just disappeared and shifted with this pandemic that's come. And so he and his wife, instead of sitting home and lamenting, they really rolled their sleeves up and they said, well, what can we do? How can we fill our time in a meaningful way? And I really want to stress that, because I know when we sit in that place of deer in headlights, as it's been for so many weeks now, so many months, it can be very easy to slip into victim because we feel like we're out of control. But here's a way to regain control. So here's an anchor right now that through his lesson, through what I'm sharing with you, if you're feeling that place of overwhelm, it's too much change, sink into the now moment, sink into your heart and think, okay, how can I shift this? And one of those ways to shift it is by reconnecting to a community, reconnecting to a path of service. What can I give back? And really what you're doing when you sit in that place is you're taking a thread of your own choosing and weaving it into this new fabric. So this reconnection to each of us, reconnection to community is going to be so important. So what my beautiful friend Randy and what he and his wife did was animals really connected to their heart space. And so they began to donate some of their time to a local shelter that they felt really needed it. And I will just pause shortly right there, pause for a moment and say, in this journey that we're on with this pandemic, I think it's very easy to focus on humans, but animals too have been affected by this. And I have been offering Saturdays now, several Saturdays with my little one. I am not shielding her from service and volunteering. It's very good for little ones to do if you're able to do it in a safe environment. It was she and I in a room of cats. There was no other humans whatsoever. And we were asked to To clean, the cages and to sit with the animals. My daughter had the very challenging task of cuddling kittens, which was very healing for her because, again, connecting to that innocence and to that heart space. And so offering service. So we did it in a safe environment, but offering something that you can say, all right, so this is important to me, and I'm going to weave this back into the rebuilding of community. What can you do? There are so many organizations right now that have shifted, so many people out of work, so many people in need. What can you do? What can you do in a safe way? Randy and I were talking over the weekend that if it's not safe in your community, if there's not an offering where you can go face to face or be socially distanced, you can always bring some animals into your home, like we are, these 4 adorable black little kittens that we are fostering. And this is such an important thing for little animals, because if we don't socialize them and if we don't get them used to human beings, what happens is they get on their own journey. That's a very lonely journey, and sometimes it does not end very well. So we've taken these little, I think they're about 8 weeks old, 2 months old. And we are cuddling them and we are loving them and, of course, taking care of their physical needs. And it's a rough job, I have to tell you, to wake up to have 8 little eyes staring at you every morning and meowing because they want cuddles and love. So, see, it works out for everyone. But it is an important thing to invest in. But let's talk about other things in volunteering. As I said, my lovely guest, who is not able to be here at this moment, he and his wife really, really rolled up their sleeves and have been given back and have spent countless hours at this shelter offering their talents and their gifts and their times. And what we were talking about yesterday is, sometimes volunteering is not glamorous, and that's what stops people, I think, from going into it. But that doesn't mean it's not as necessary. I am certain in your communities there is someone out there that could use some help. Even if it's checking up on neighbors or, buying groceries for someone that is not able to. There are so many possibilities of things. But we're not in a position anymore where we are in this new to start our day and say, this day is about me. It's so many things have shifted, right? So many things have shifted, and this is not business as usual. Bringing it back to what Ambassador Chowdhury had said in the one of the numerous Zoom calls that I have been in meetings. But I wrote down those words, and I've been sharing them week after week. This is not business as usual, and we should not start our day thinking about us. It's not about us as the individual I anymore. This is about all of us. And of course, you've heard that phrase that we're all in this together. Well, we really are in this together. So we need to open our heart and see how can we help. And what you're doing when you do make that step is we are rebuilding. We are rebuilding our community. Remember, we are sitting in this new energy. Remember, we are right now building the floor, laying the groundwork, laying stone by stone of this new foundation. This new foundation has to be new. We've been talking all this month about letting go of stuff. Well, letting go has to be a part of rebuilding this foundation. We cannot build a new world. We cannot step bravely and strongly and fiercely into this new era if we're pulling stones that are crumbled and cracked and have issues in them already. We can't do that because the foundation won't be laid. We can't build upon that anymore. So we really have to ruthlessly let go and create the new. What came to me yesterday as I was on an OMTimes Zoom call for my daughter's school, which is not starting yet, even though we were supposed to start, not quite there yet. What was bubbling up with me, because as I've been sharing, everything's letting go. What was coming up with me was that, okay, education. We need to rethink education, for our new age indigo crystal children who are so bored as it is sitting there because it's not reaching them in their heart space. And that's been something that's been bubbling in my burner for years and years before even I had my child. And the universe, as it does, as that was bubbling within me, I had one of those connections pop up, and I'm speaking to a woman this Thursday who has the same thing bubbling up. So I think that's something that we all need to look at is kids are not in school right now. How can we creatively teach them and guide them, but prepare them for this new age, right? I have so many thoughts there, but we'll have more to share with you next week after I connect with this lovely new connection, lovely new woman on Thursday. But bringing it back to volunteering, as I said, which I don't even like that word. I don't know. As we are recreating the new, really need to look at language as well, and words that have connotations of this and that. You know, English is a flexible language, very malleable. We can create new words. So I like bringing into the bigger perspective of the unfolding of community and the rebuilding, the reweaving of community with each of us present. You know, community doesn't mean those people over there and I'm not a part of it. You know, like they're doing that and that's great, but I'm going to sit here and watch. No, we have to change that. You know, all of that is shifting right now. And that's such a big thing that needs to shift as we get into this new age. I said sometime, you know, in the past about apathy and that there just isn't any more time to be apathetic. There is just no more time. Each of us is responsible for the rebuilding, each of us in whatever way that presents itself. And we've spoken many times about just making simple choices, you know, in the grocery store, food choices, plastics, all of those things, part and parcel of this new age. We cannot continue the way we've been going. We can't. The oceans can't take any more plastic. The earth can't take any more damage. We have to think collectively in what we're doing and what are the choices that we're making. So you, yes, you that are sitting in this sacred space with me, having a lovely cup of tea and listening, and thank you again for doing that. What can you do today? And it is about today. I really stress that there's such this sense of urgency. We cannot point fingers anymore to these ethereal groups out there, government or this or that, and say they're going to solve it. Because guess what? That's not happening. That's not the energy that's happening right now. It's about each and every one of us standing up as a citizen of this planet. Period. I'm not even going to bring the star beings into that because that brings a whole nother layer, a whole nother dimension and a whole nother show. But just we are all citizens of this planet right now by choice. So what can we do to allow this transformation to unfold? And as you see it unfold in your own life, remember we're mirrors of out there. So you will begin to see out there shift and change. Well, it already has shifted and changed, but into the new way that we are creating. So what can you do today? I really mean that. Today. Don't just put this aside and say, I'm going to have my cuppa and yes, Australian expression again. So we're going to have a cup of coffee right now and think about it later. You know, I'll think about what comes to me. No, really. I encourage you right now. What's calling to you from your heart and how can you give back? Oh, I got very excited about that. All right. Well, we're going to have a little pause and I'll see if I can get Magda out here for fun facts for kids. I don't know. All right. Let's see you in a bit.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Hello, I'm Sandy Sedgbeer, host of OMTimes Magazine's flagship radio show, What is Going On. My passion is sifting through information, research, and innovations from new thought teachers, speakers, and researchers pushing back the boundaries of what we know about life, energy, metaphysics, and the universe. I love shifting perceptions about who we are, why we're here, and how quickly impossible becomes normal when we open our minds, expand our awareness, and accept that the only limits that exist are those we place upon ourselves. So if you're the kind of forward-thinking, eager investigator of what lies beyond the current reality that most perceive, Why not make a date to come play with me in the field of possibilities at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday, and together we can discover what's really going on.
In a world that has suddenly turned dark and unfamiliar, there is one light that will never go out. Allow the light of kindness and compassion to guide you. With kindness, we can all create a better tomorrow. The Be Kind Revolution, shining the light of kindness and compassion within. www.bekindrevolution.life. Become a kindness crusader today, because everyone deserves a little kindness. And hello, this is Maya Voce, your host and guide to the Power of Five here on OMTimes Radio. And I have a little surprise. I have pulled my daughter from Kittenland, who has not prepared a fun fact. She's just giving me that look again. But we have come up with our own fun facts because we have World with Kittens. So, hello, would you like to say good morning? Can you come and say good morning, please? Okay, apparently that's too much. You know, it's reached that point. But anyway, would you like to share some thoughts about the kittens that no? Now I'm getting the look again. All right. Well, thanks, Magda. All right. I will speak for her because apparently that's too much. So, Nana, if you're listening, sorry. Maybe you can talk to your grandchild and pull her into a place that you can hear her on here. But anyway, go back to Kittenland then. Okay, go. No, if you're not going to share any thoughts, just go back to Kittenland. Okay. All righty. The joys of having a young child. It's always a surprise, isn't it? Okay. So we have been talking about energy, of course, and how we're sitting here now well into this moon cycle with the energy of Saturn that has just been sitting on us and pulling into our heart and asking us where we are not in alignment anymore. So, and notice the shift in language, where Saturn, many people would say, you know, it's where you sit down and you write your career goals, that it's a traditional Saturn thing. We're talking now about not writing anything, not thinking them out, but just coming into alignment with your soul path. How do you know if you're in alignment or not with something? It is very simple. Energy is very simple. When you break it down, you either feel good or you feel not good. That's it. So if you, for example, have this project that you've been working on for, I don't know, days, months, years, whatever, and you wake up in the morning and you think about that project, how does it make you feel in that moment? Do you get that sinking feeling like, I don't want to do this? That would certainly be a clue that that's something to let go. Or are you filled with energy and you go, yes. Like in the beginning of my show, I say, does that get you excited for your day? Do you go, yes, I want to put energy into this. Yes, I can't wait to sink my teeth into that and really just go with it. That's another sign that that's the way you should go. See, it's very simple. We've just stopped listening to ourselves. You know, and when we get that intuition that rises up, we've been taught to really push it down and think it instead. And that would be wrong. Let's not go there anymore. And I don't say wrong generally, but I'm going to say that now. It just has outused. It's not serving us anymore. This is the age of Aquarius. This is a time where we sink into our hearts and we really allow our intuition to bubble up and guide us. And we have this wonderful thing called a body, which is our barometer, which gives us clues like that. And again, very simple. Sinking feeling, don't want to do that. You can use your own sound in there. Just let it go. Don't rationalize it. Don't think about it. Just let it go. Your body is telling you, your energy field is showing you that it's not meant to be brought into this new era. It's so simple. Only embrace things that get you really excited. Really. And these are, we're talking about careers, businesses, your projects, whatever it is, your thoughts. That's your direction. That's your path. It's right there. If you're excited about it, That's your path. It is really as simple as that. So as we're sitting in this energy of the new and we're choosing our threads, choosing what we're going to weave into this new foundation to create this new world, only you only weave those threads of things that bring you that joy, that bring you that excitement. We spoke about kindness and compassion. All right, that should be something also that we're weaving into this new society. Community, that rebuilding of that sense of community, of being a part of a community. So many of us don't even feel a part of it because we are in cities and little boxes and very isolated, and go into our homes and with the blinders on and don't want to talk to anybody. It's really, we've come so far from a support place, from support that's just out there. So we are rebuilding that, that sense of being a part of community. I'm going to quick tangent because I got in a wonderful conversation last week with this water group that I'm now a part of. And I'm going to reach out after this hour that we're sharing together. So I'd really like to bring some water energy into this, because what I'm sitting with right now is that we all need water energy, because water energy is about flow. And because there's been so much change, because there's been so much shifting, we really need to embrace that energy of water, that sense of flow, that is just movement, but ease, graceful movement, right? You picture water, it's not a block of concrete. It's not just sitting there. Water is movement. Water is flowing. Water is graceful. Yes, there's energy in water, and certainly we can have, waves crashing, and that has its purpose too. But this water is just that essence of flow. So I really want to pull that into this space and pull those who have been working with the energy of water, called to do that work their entire lives, bring them into this space to share thoughts with you. So I'll be reaching out. And if you are listening to this and one that works with the energy of water, please reach out. I'd love to open space for you here, so that you can share your thoughts, because certainly all of the elements are important, but really feeling right now that water is what we need to connect with. Yes, and it will help us through this time of transition and time of change. If we can easily and gracefully let go, as water does, and just flow into the next, my goodness, how much easier this journey would be, right? Because it's those that are sitting there rigid and fixed like that block of concrete, like this just block. I can't think of another thing. Just block of concrete. That's where we're at. So if you're sitting there like that block of concrete, this is not going to be an easy shift for you. It's just not, because this is the journey of letting go. It is the journey of opening up. And allowing the new to take form. And it can't do that if you are a block of concrete. So we just need to embrace, again, that energy of water, that energy of flow. And it would be a good idea in this week, until we join and share space again, really connect with water. Go out into nature if you can, and I hope you can. Oh, goodness, I really hope you can in some way, to go for a walk and just connect to the energies that are out there, beautiful healing energy of nature. I'm sure in the area you're in, there's something that calls you, even if it's a tree, a plant, whatever it is, go to it and allow that healing energy to wash over you and to do its job. But call in the energy of water. If it's raining, embrace the rain. It's summer for most of the world. You maybe can go outside in the rain, something you maybe have not done since you were a kid, and splash around and be silly and connect to that innocence, and connect to that energy of water and saying, water, you've got it. Grant me your wisdom, speak to me. Oh, another show we'll talk about connection and just asking different parts of your body, different parts of nature. You just open it up and ask it, what is your message today? What is your wisdom? And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what you receive. I've taken many a group out into the bushlands of Australia, and people that have never ever connected, never thought that a tree could speak to them, a flower, and they were surprised. So nature has beautiful wisdom inherent within it. Allow it to wash over you and to receive it. So back to, yes, the energy of water and flow. beautiful thing to connect with this week and the weeks to come. We are journeying into the Lionsgate portal, which I will talk more about next week. And if I'm allotted time, with my daughter, we'd love to create a meditation to open you up to that space. It's just such a beautiful influx of light. I won't dive into it because then I'll use up our time here because I really embrace that energy. But it is just such a beautiful influx of light connecting to consciousness of not only of the universe, but of Sirius specifically. It's connected to, because there is an alignment of Sirius and Earth. And there's this little trick of the eye that it makes Sirius look bigger. But what it's really doing is just pulling that energy in. That's the way I think of it, is just pulling that energy into you and the star beings. So if you're in that realm where you connect with the star beings, of course, that's a beautiful time to do it because that portal is opened. If that's not your cup of tea, then just allowing that energy to wash over you, because I said it's a beautiful influx of light, calling to your ascension codes, calling to your soul path. It's talking about letting go. My goodness, this is like one of the ultimate energies to let go, because what it does is it allows you to rise. And as you're rising, it's getting rid of the other stuff. So, yes, it's like the ultimate letting go energy, and such a beautiful finish to our month of letting go. So that is coming up. Technically, we're in the portal now, but if we're going to focus just on that, the main thing, it would be the 8/8. So August 8th, which is coming up, which I think is a Saturday. Yes, I think it is because I've been invited somewhere. Yes. But again, allowing that energy to just come in. If you know nothing about energy and nothing about the Lionsgate in it of itself, just open yourself up to meditation and sink in that space and just say, allow me to receive what I need to receive. That's it. There doesn't have to be fancy stuff. And I know I've said it before, we overcomplicate everything. And I'm really working in my own life right now to focus on only what I'm feeling is the thing. And this is what I would encourage for all of you, is get rid of the clutter, physical clutter, mental clutter, energy clutter, and really coming into alignment and being in that pure space. That's the word that they're showing me right now, popping up in my mind, this pure space of energy. It's also a pure space of intention, and coming from the pure space of your heart. Again, this heart energy. Lionsgate, we call it Lionsgate because we're entering into Leo. My partner was a Leo. His birthday is August 1st. And Leo and Aries, we get along very well. Lots of fire, though. But you have this majestic Leo energy, very, very full of the heart. So if you're feeling tugs of the heart, this energy is calling to it and saying, if you're not already in that space, it's time to get in it. Time to make that journey within. So we'll talk more about that next week. And as I said, touching on, we can't go in depth to grief and loss because it's such a big topic. But just sharing with you some of the bigger lessons that I feel guided to share with you after the loss of my partner, and honoring his birthday, which is this Saturday. I would not be able to offer you wisdom on Saturday. That is just a very raw time for me. It still is. I'm not sure if it'll ever become not raw, to be honest with you. So just hoping in years to come, what I see happening is honoring that in different ways, I guess would be. So anyway, I would like to bring that into the show next week. And as I said, bringing in water, really focusing on the energy of water, because I think that's so useful for all of us. And offering you some simple tips so that you can embrace water in your daily life, in your daily practice. If you're not familiar with the work of Dr. Emoto, and we're running out of time here, so I just mentioned his name. I'm not able to bring him in this space, but when we do talk on water, maybe I will do a show on that and really dive into his work and share some thoughts on Facebook. Because it's such amazing work, He showed physically that water responds. Water is consciousness by freezing and microscoping water crystals. So if you're familiar with his work, I'm sure you agree. It's just beautiful, beautiful work. But really let us connect with that energy of water this week. If you're feeling overwhelmed and if you're feeling really tired and just over it, I know I've used that word, just really over it, taking a breath and connect with that energy of water, visualizing that flow and remembering that how much of you is water as well, and bringing that essence of you that is water, and connecting to the energy of water that is out there. Apparently, my little dog decided that now we're just done. He's just starting to bark for no reason. This is his new habit. What is your problem? He's morphed into an older dog and just sits there and demands things. As it was. So don't know if you could hear that. That's the joy of having a home studio. But he's sitting there barking in the background with a child who could care less. So anyway, I want to thank you all for being in this space with me. Just from the bottom of my heart, I have such gratitude for sharing this wisdom and for sharing this space with you, hoping that you are well and safe and embracing the energy of water in your own life. And remember, from my heart to your heart, we are all one and we are all here together. So have a blessed week. Aloha, and sending you love and blessings from the Big Island. I will talk to you next week. Have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.